yeah, I said, I've been telling everybody that Jan's just getting worse and worse and worse. I won't go into the details because it's none of anybody's business really, but I just cannot cope. I cannot cope. I clear up one mess and there's another one to clear up. And then I've got the 3 animals and everything else, plus my fucking OCD and PTSD being triggered 24/7. I'm just waiting. I think somebody said to me that the only time they're going to step in is if something horrible happens to Jan. You know, she has an accident or something. It was just like when I was stalked in Brighton years ago. They said to me, well, we can't do anything unless he attacks you. And it came to that. I had to be physically attacked and lose everything. And then didn't even warrant a police car or any victim support, you know? So now I'm just in the position of just waiting to find her dead at the bottom of the stairs or something. Anyway, got this key worker. He came round. Jan's key worker came round about a month ago with a carer's conversation form, and I was in the middle of trying to get this assignment done. And I was ill then, like I've been ill for 6 months. Just completely overwhelmed. And he was straight away, he was like, oh, you're not answering the phone. And I said, I'm unwell. I'm overwhelmed and I cannot cope. And he said, well, here's a carer's conversation. I said, well, what's that? He said, it's to support you with your carer's needs, caring responsibilities. I said, can't take any more responsibility. And apparently all it will give me is a few free yoga sessions or whatever. And I said, it's just not enough. Jan and I were there. I just said, it's not enough. The care package in place is not enough. The whole attitude was, oh, well, there's a care package in place. What's your problem? Kind of thing, you know? Don't you understand that dementia is degenerative? She's getting worse by the day. But they don't see that. They just see the spick and span kitchen. You know, that she's been fed and everything else. In and out, all tickety-boo at home. Anyway. Redbridge carers have been... They started putting safeguarding measures into me, and she said, oh, you know, this definitely, you should be stepping back and, you know, saving yourself, basically. She started all the safeguarding. How many times have I heard that? From the police, paramedics, my employer. She taught us for a whole day about safeguarding. And here are 2 people that are in dire need of intervention. And she just ignores me as well, you know? She's fucking cold as all of them. Anyway, I said to Redbridge carers, why didn't you continue with the safeguarding for me? And she said, well, Jan's key worker is the safeguarding person. I said, well, he's not. He's a horrible man. He just doesn't listen. So anyway, he was on the phone yesterday complaining, saying, well, I've had Redbridge carers on the phone to me. You know, what's your problem? There's a care package in place. Attitude again. And I said, it's not nearly enough. And I cannot, as somebody that's exhausted, physically and emotionally exhausted, I am in no safe, fit state to be a carer 23 hours a day for somebody with dementia, a heart condition, can't walk and can barely see. How is that feasible. And I can't even go out and get food now without worrying myself sick. So I said to them, I mean, I've had flu the last 3-4 days. I feel like shit today as well. And I said to them, how am I supposed to cut myself in half, rest with the flu, and queue up for an hour and a half for food? Anyway, I started to tell him he's, straight away, just so like, I said, you're anti-me, aren't you, straight away. He said, well, what's the problem then? So I started to explain, and he just kept interrupting. Well, he kept repeating, there's a care package in place, there's a care package in place. So I continued to talk. I mean, I'm a straight-talking, assertive woman. Always been the same. People don't like that, especially men. So then he called me aggressive. I said, I'm not being aggressive. I've had months of being ignored, gaslighted, invalidated, lied to, messed around, abused by all and sundry, including, the person I'm supposed to be looking after. But there's no understanding for that. There's no understanding that somebody that is beyond, exhausted, is going to scream and shout because their nervous system is fucked. There's no understanding. There's no, from anybody, the social worker, the doctor, anybody. Just no understanding. I mean, why are they safeguarding officers? Why are they social workers? Why are they carers? Why are they care support workers? When they ignore my distress, ignore when I'm trying to protect Jan. My notes are just dismissed out of hand. When I thought I was having a heart attack last month, I went down into the kitchen, the carer was there, and I said, look, I'm having to call an ambulance because I think I'm having a heart attack. She didn't even raise her eyes to look at me. She didn't even look at me. She just ignored me. And she just turned to Jan and said, well, it's not, the ambulance isn't for you, it's for her. Who's her? Don't even call me by my name. These people are just awful. So I just said, I can't go past here, brilliant. Oh, God. Maybe we're not going to get to the tree. I just said, all you need to know, Kenyon, that's his name, or Kennedy, I don't know. I said, all you need to know is that I'm not doing this anymore. I'll do what I've already been doing, but I'm not doing any extra because I'm incapable, and I will be moving out as soon as. And I said, goodbye. And then they weaponise my distress against me, my reaction. And they're, and it's all, oh, well, she's aggressive, she's argumentative, But you try not being listened to. Your email's not being read properly, being ignored and rejected again and again and again because you don't fit the categories, Part of the problem is that I'm gay and I'm childless and I'm sober, That immediately puts you on the back foot. And if you're poor, well, you deserve everything you get, don't you? You just haven't tried hard enough in life. You deserve it. You deserve to be poor. Why should we help you, the scum of the fucking earth? Anyway, so that was that lovely conversation. And then I get home. Jan's saying, oh, well, they've been in the cupboards and they want to take me shopping because there's no food in. The one day, I said to her, I got up yesterday morning and I cooked her breakfast, I cooked her dinner. Plenty of food for yesterday for both of us. Yes, the cupboard's looking bare because it's the end of the month and there's no money at the end of the month. Some people don't have any money because it's all going on bills for greedy people. Anyway, she was bleating on about that, you know. And I said, I cannot even have a day, a few hours to myself to try and recover from the flu. I just can't recover from anything without you fucking complaining. You all thinking that I'm not good enough, I'm not providing enough. I've got nobody on my side and they're taking full advantage of that. I've got no strength to fight. The only thing I can do is literally get out of bed, feed the animals, and I can barely do that. I can barely cook. I cooked, I got up at 5 o'clock today because as soon as I told this key worker that I wasn't doing anymore, because that's my legal right, I don't have to be forced into being an unpaid carer when I've got no work. Because of the situation, I've got no job, no income, no means of paying my bills. I'm looking at homelessness. I'm sorry, but what do you expect me to do? That's enough. That's enough for one person, one human being. That's enough. And I've said no. And then this woman came round, then followed by another woman. And Jan doesn't remember things from 1 minute to the next, so I don't know who they were, and I didn't want to be disturbed. I just felt sick. I said, look, I've done what I've done. I've spoken to your care worker. I've tried to get things in place, but she won't pay for care, you know. All she cares about is me keeping her in her house and that the animals stay with her. That's all she cares about. It's another thing I say to them, we're not even together. The relationship ended about 4 years ago. I've been trying to get away, but when you've got nowhere to go, nobody who gives a fuck if you're alive or dead, it's a bit hard. But I just don't stand a chance because they're just taking full advantage of the fact that I can't fight. And when I do stick up for myself, you know, it's translated as argumentative, aggressive. They're all the same. I'm sticking up for myself assertively, and that's argumentative and aggressive. It's always fucking men, and they expect me to be compliant and passive just like their fucking wives, you know, in their culture. Why shouldn't I have a voice? Why shouldn't I be straight talking? Why shouldn't I be honest? Why shouldn't I be truthful? So the system is designed to force me into being an unpaid carer, whether I like it or not, whether I'm up to it or not, after 2 years of it, without a break. I'm losing my bloody trousers now. Just a second. I haven't even had a break for 2 years. The excursions I have had are to see if I can find somewhere to live that's cheaper than London. I can't afford to live in London. I don't want to live in London. Scotland in the sticks is probably all I could... I can't afford anything. I've got no money, nothing now. And I know there's no hope. But I honestly didn't expect that the deeper I got into this, the worse it would get. You know, just... I very nearly got out last year, and it was because the housing officer didn't read my email and then blamed me for it, that I lost the fucking place. So I nearly got out last year. Now it's too late. It's all too late. And then the other night, I thought, I've got some porridge. I was saving it until I went to bed. So I went in there and it's gone, it's been eaten. I said, Jan, did you eat my porridge? No, didn't eat porridge. I said, well, who did then? She said, I don't know, I didn't touch your porridge. It's like with everything, you know, my coat being thrown out, my work being trashed. I don't know, I mean, I would be fine if she just said, I ate it by mistake, I'm sorry, or I'm so sorry that I took it, you know, threw things out by accident. None of that. It's like everybody blame shifts onto me, everybody. Because I'm an easy target, aren't I? And then yesterday I remember saying I was going to do live streams again and just be a place for people to talk, and I'm not going to do that because that's kind of, I realise that's just my defence mechanism is to rescue everybody else. And all I'm going to get is another load of abuse about my looks and everything else. Don't look right. And that's all people care about, isn't it? Your nails, your looks and everything else. Well, I'm not a surface, shallow individual, okay? I know nobody likes that. But I've always had a little bit more in life to worry about than what I look like. And maybe if I had cared more about that and about saying the right thing, consuming more and getting the right stuff, it doesn't rock my boat, you know? But, you know, you just, even if I died, right, I've got evidence of what I'm saying to back up what I'm saying about being ignored and everything else. I've got evidence in text messages, emails, everything. But that's still I can imagine the coroner saying, victim of systemic failure, you know, victim of the system. But all of them are going to find a way to justify it to themselves, aren't they? Oh, well, you were argumentative. Oh, well, you were this, you were that, Gemma. So even in death, I'm going to be vilified. All I want is for somebody to understand. And I know my family are watching this, and I bet you all think this is what I deserve. for being a victim of your abuse all my childhood, because that's where it all started. Being scapegoated, blamed, when I'm the victim of their paedophile, child-beating ways. And I know they're watching this. I know you're watching, Mum. Couldn't even be bothered to answer. I mean, that's how desperate I've been. I called my mother, right? And she couldn't be bothered to answer the phone to me. I haven't spoken to her for 20 years. That's how desperate I am. I haven't been in touch with them because I don't want them in my life. All my dad does is stalk me, and it's caused me 50 years of grief. But I was that desperate. And I asked her for money. I mean, she's paid for my brother's weddings, grandchildren. Any normal mother would say, she told me to go to Citizens Advice. That's what she said to do. Cheers, Mum. No protection, no sense of protecting me. She's never protected me from my paedophile grandfather. She let him abuse me in my own bedroom. That's my mother. Lovely woman. But everyone thinks she's so sweet. Everyone thinks she's such a sweet old lady. And I'm just going to get it all out of my system. I saw your 3 hearts there, Mum. Couldn't even formulate the words, could you, to say something to your daughter that's on her knees. You do nothing. They stalk me on fucking social media, and they're not because they care about me, because I bet they're rubbing their hands with glee that my life has fallen apart. It's nothing more than you deserve from, when it was exactly the same growing up. I was supposed to achieve and do well at school, even though my grandfather was molesting me, even though I was being beaten up on a regular basis by my father and my brother and my mother. I was running away from home. I was just it was then, it's the same, feel the same pressure that I did as a kid as I do now. Hi, tree. But I'm not going to do the live stream because nobody's interested anyway. What was it somebody said? I was reading out my poetry. Nobody's interested in your poetry. Nobody's interested in your poetry, you fat, ugly cow. So you can all go rot. And I think the one thing that's the tree has taught me is that in order to survive, you've got to gather all your resources. You've got to not fight, but stand in your strength, because I am strong. I hate that saying, stay strong, Gemma, be strong. Again, it's like, so if I'm not strong, am I weak then? And I was listening to Maya Angelou. I just have her on repeat when I'm cooking in the mornings in the kitchen, because she's got me through my life basically. And she was saying today about how just to breathe. But I've just never felt so alone, so isolated. I haven't got the guts to do anything about it. And like I say, everyone's going to find a way of justifying whatever happens to me to themselves. It'll all be my fault. It'll all be my fault, Gemma's fault. 'Cause it's easy just to blame the person that's been fallen through the cracks, isn't it? So I think that's the conclusion of what I'm going to do. I'm going to still come to the tree, but I'm not going to share it with you people. None of you are worth it. Yeah, I've had a few nice comments and I appreciate those. But it's like nobody can actually formulate the words and give me any support or comfort, because I don't deserve any, do I? I just make people uncomfortable with talking about my off limits things that I talk about. But this is for all those women that walk into rivers to end their lives because they've got nowhere to turn, and they just become this scapegoat. And I'm so tired, I just think, well, just do this assignment, Gemma, just cling on to that. I'm too tired. So if any of you can do, if all of you can do anything for me, it would be to just pray for me to be at peace, please. That's all I ask. And I never want my body to be found. I don't want a funeral. I don't want to be in a graveyard with other people. I just want to be free from people and be returned to nature. That's all I want. And they punish you for feeling suicidal. This is another thing. You deserve punishment, you deserve imprisonment and restraint if you feel the way I do. It's a natural reaction to being treated like absolute shit. So I've got that out of my system. Just waiting for my body to give out. I hope it's soon. I really hope it's soon. Okay, so that's the end of the project. I hope you can think, at least I'm not a failure as Gemma, because that's all you all think about, isn't it? Failure, success. You can all think what you like about me. But at least I've got integrity. I try and care about people. I try and self-reflect. I'm not afraid of talking about things and addressing things that the rest of society just sweep under the carpet. can't go through here. There's a big tree in the way. I won't be coming tomorrow, I doubt. That's the last day of the project. I've got to go and queue up for food for an hour and a half when I can't stand. That's going to be really good, isn't it? I can't wait for that. And then the minute the food goes down, oh, why aren't you getting enough food, Gemma? Why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing that? No. So, okay. Thanks for whoever's joined me. I know, like I say, and I hope my delightful family get the message. Bye.